What the fuck is up, everybody? It's your boy Cody with Ballers on a Budget. I got the first opening season predictions for you. I'm here alone, no Corey virtually or by my side. Let's get it going. 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Thursday already happened. We know what happened with that. Bucks beat the Cowboys, which is a close game, closer than any one of us thought. But the first game that we're going to predict is the Eagles at Atlanta, where Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith will go up against Atlanta, who has one of the worst secondaries in the league. But with the Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith hookup on the opposite side, you also got the Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley hookup. Add in both tight ends from both teams. You got good tight ends across the board. Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz on the Eagles side, and then Kyle Pitts, the rookie, on the Falcons side. The coach said he's going to be all over the formations everywhere, so I look forward to watching him play. I look forward to watching him lose because I'm taking the Eagles on this one. Where's my marker? Where is it? Get out of you, Jerry. Placing my stuff. Yeah, I got to use blue. Taking the Eagles on this one. Next up, we got the Steelers at the Buffalo Bills, where Steelers are coming in with one of the best defenses in the league, and Buffalo Bills are coming in with one of the most high-powered offenses in the league, the second best last year. Steelers did draft Najee Harris, but behind a atrocious offensive line. How far will that get him and this Steelers team? Last year, the Bills did win the meeting between the two in the regular season, 26-15. We'll see how it pans out. I'm predicting a little bit higher scores this time. I look at it like old slinger versus young gun. So I'm taking Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's going to get it done. Next up, we got the Vikings at the Bengals, where Vikings, you got old reliable Dalvin Cook to the wide receiver duo, Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, crazy young talent. Love Justin Jefferson. But on the opposite side, you got question marks on the offense. There's no question mark in Joe Mixon. You know what he can do. He can put the team on his back, and he can trudge forward to a 6-win season. But is Joe Burrow 100% healthy after the crazy injury? I hope he comes back healthy and starts slinging the ball. I don't think as an AFC North fan, I don't think we have to fear the Bengals. But also a question mark is, can Jamar Chase find his hands before the game actually starts? He hadn't found them in preseason. He actually said the NFL balls are a little bit harder to catch. Never heard that from a wide receiver openly admit that, but it takes balls. It takes balls to lose to. I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings off of strictly better defense. Next up, we got San Francisco at the Lions. San Francisco also has some question marks, and in their question marks is also their health as a whole. Last year, injuries derailed their season. Coming off of a Super Bowl, they went to a losing season, dropped dramatically, and that was behind Jimmy G missing 10 games, Kittle 8, and Bosa 14 after getting injured in the second week. We all know Shanahan's a dog. He's a running back genius. He drafted Trey Sermon to back up Raheem Mostert. And with him being the running back genius, he's going to get some type of system going and just lead the league in rushing yards and rushing attempts, near the top anyways. They can't lead the league. I don't think he has enough talent alone. Whereas the Lions side, those question marks are, can DeAndre Swift and Tyrell Williams step up and be number ones in their respective positions? Or is it just too early, or are they not talented enough is the main question here. I think they're going to lean heavy on their tight end, TJ Hawkinson, because it's going to be a tight end matchup. Obviously, George Kittle and TJ Hawkinson, two good tight ends, not too many good tight ends in the league, and they're meeting up today. Unfortunately, they can't get like a little boxing match going instead. I know Kittle likes WWE or whatever to get that shit going because they won't see each other. They'll see their defenses. Yeah, Jared Goff's just going to need TJ Hawkinson. He's going to be that little escape route. After 49ers front is going to get after the quarterback. And I think this San Francisco team goes as Jimmy G goes currently, and Jimmy G as a starter is 22-8, and I'm betting my money on San Francisco figuratively and literally. Next up, we got the Cardinals at the Titans. This was a good matchup for me because it's a high-powered matchup. Both great teams, top 5, you could argue, and I would argue for the Cardinals. But I'm choosing Murray over Tannehill. But it's like a scale. You choose Murray over Tannehill, it leans a little bit, but then you got Derrick Henry outweighing Chase Edmonds by a ton. Like, no one beats Derrick Henry. It's not a matter of if you're going to stop Derrick Henry. It's if a matter if you can stop the bleeding. Like, you're already fucking injured. You're already stabbed. You're probably going to die. Just stop the bleeding and don't let it get infected at this point. But the bad thing for the Titans is A.J. Brown. Is he in or is he out? He has a knee injury. We don't know yet. For the Cardinals side, you got the big 3 on wide receivers there. Obviously, Nuke, A.J. Green, and Christian Kirk. But like I said, Derrick Henry, Cardinals have to stop Derrick Henry, and I do think they get it done here, and that's one of the bigger upsets of the day for me, involved in the parlays later on. One of the only crazy upsets I have today, I don't even think it's that crazy because I think you could argue top 5 for both teams. Next up, we got the Colts. Seattle going to the Colts. Well, I'm taking Russ over Carson Wentz. We know what Russ does. Russ has a really high ceiling, Super Bowl worthy. We've seen it where Wentz has a high ceiling, but it doesn't even come close to Russ's, and that's if he stays healthy. And we haven't seen him with this team, so it's even bigger question mark. You got amazing wide receivers on the Seattle side. Lockett and DK Metcalf. Chris Carson is a bull. He's going to put his head down. If he gets the carries, he's going to get the yards. On the Colts side, they also have running back for days. The rookie Jonathan Taylor did amazing last year. Let's see if he can propel it forward. But the Colts also seem to have a running back scheme in there because you know they're going to work Naheem Hines out of the backfield to catch some passes. He's great at that. I think he's a better catcher out of the backfield than he is a runner out of the backfield. And they also have Marlon Mack stashed at number 3 right now. They do have a great offensive line for the Colts, but offensive tackle Fisher is out and Quentin Nelson is questionable. Colts also have a great defense, but they're going to be missing Xavier Rhodes and defensive end Toure. Boom. I'm taking Seattle Seahawks for that. Put it on the board. I don't know if they have that trademarked or not, but next up, we got Chargers at Washington. People's going to call me crazy because they got Washington in this. I actually think Washington's going to be a strong team this year. You got old pizza face Justin Herbert. All respect, amazing talent. He can just clean up the face a little bit, get some proactive, do something. Throwing to wide receiver Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and tight end Jared Cook. Question mark is their running back health. Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson, they're both coming in a little banged up. Will they remain questionable and be game time decision, or can they get it cleared up before they have to dive into their 3rd running back on the depth chart? And I don't even know who that would be at the moment. Washington side, Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, is going to be your main targets on top of tight end Logan Thomas. I think he's going to be a big name in the league. He only takes a step up. And Fitzmagic is the question here. Fitzmagic does this. He's a journeyman. He's played for 17 teams in the league. He'll come in, he'll start a couple games, and they'll realize you can't win a season with Fitzpatrick. He's a great compliment to your team. He's got the swag. He's got the talent. But you just can't win with him at the starting helm. They're going to come in, start a couple games with him, realize you can't do that, and back out. But like I said, they're going to come in and win a couple games with him. This game, I'm going to have them winning. Fitz magic, baby. Work some of that season opener magic, please. Next up, we got Jets at Panthers. Rookie Zach Wilson. Some prospects were saying that he has Patrick Mahomes type level talent within him. Obviously, no one else but him sees that. But I do see amazing talent in Zach Wilson. Unfortunately, he won't be throwing to wide receiver Jamison Crowder because he's out. Also, Will Fuller suspended, as we all know, one more game. Panthers, Sam Darnold, a.k.a. I like to call him Sammy Ghosts. I don't think he's as good as everyone think he is. I knew Mayfield was better right off rip when people were even questioning it. Colin Cowherd, you especially were questioning it. But Christian McCaffrey is going to be the main shown player. I'm surprised that they don't have a cameraman just following him around the whole time because he's going to be the main show. No one wants to watch football. They want to watch Christian McCaffrey when they come to this game. He's going to be all over the place, but I don't think he gets it done enough because I think the Jets just have a better rush defense. They're going to be getting to the quarterback a little bit more, getting after Sam Darnold. Maybe he'll be seeing some ghosts again. An interesting fact is both of these teams have 2 rookie kickers, and I do think it comes down to a field goal, so maybe that plays. Maybe someone gets cut at the end of the day. We'll see. But like I said, I'm taking the Jets. Next up, we got the Jags at Texans. This game's also going to be a game they're going to go and see. You're going to go for the vibe of the game, but you don't go to evaluate the talent because there's just not going to be any on the field, especially when Deshaun Watson doesn't show up. You got rookie Trevor Lawrence on the side, where running back James Robinson behind him, and I think you're going to see a ton of James Robinson all game. He's going to be the main theme of the game. Getting over to the Texans, they have one of the worst rush defenses, allowing 24 touchdowns last year and averaging a 5.2 yards per carry to opposing running backs, obviously. So like I said, James Robinson show. The defenses, Jags last year had 12 interceptions and 12 forced fumbles, a turnover machine where Texans only had 3 interceptions, but they did have 9 forced fumbles. Jags also have the 6th worst pass defense, and that's going to be a plus for Tyrod Taylor, who's stepping in for Deshaun Watson. But like I mentioned earlier, no Deshaun, no win. I'm taking the Jags. Let's get Trevor Lawrence started off properly with a win. Next up, at the 4 o'clock games, it wraps up the 1 o'clock. Now we're moving on to the 4 o'clock games. We got the Dolphins at the Patriots, where it's sophomore versus freshman, Tua versus Mac. I think in this game, personally, Myles Gaskin needs the ball. Patriots have a worse rush defense than they do their pass defense, or they rely on their pass defense a little bit more, so Gaskins needs the ball, but this will be a good game, a good subpar defense to test out the Tua versus Jalen Waddle matchup. I think also Mike Gesicki is going to be involved a lot in the lineup. One of the bigger tight ends that are going to be making a step up in the league. On the Patriots side, I'm predicting the running back core as a whole are getting 13 to 15 catches because that's just what they do. That's what Tom Brady did. That's what Belichick QBs seem to do, although we've only seen a couple play under Belichick for the Patriot reign. But that's what they do. Dink, 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 dink. Take the shot when they need. Take the shot when they need. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to stand behind that good offensive line that they have. I already mentioned they have a bad run defense, so Myles Gaskin needs the ball. I think you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets, too, because they're wide receivers. They're kind of lacking a name, let alone talent, where in the tight ends, you're actually heavy with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, both possession-type tight ends, which is great. They can both bump, block, release, catch. Another fun fact for this game, one of them, is it's going to be brother versus brother. These brothers have won a Super Bowl together, actually with the Patriots. Now, since they've been broken up, they're reunited for the first time as competitors. They're both on the defensive side, and the Dolphins have Jason and the Patriots have Devin, the McCourty brother matchup. And for this matchup, I have to take the Dolphins. Another lightweight upset, as you would say. The lines weren't too skewed, so when I chose these, they weren't horrible. Next up, we got Packers at Saints, where Packers have what I like to call the AAA squad. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devonta Adams. And I think, personally, they're going to be responsible for 6 touchdowns on the game between just the trio. On top of that, they have a top 10 defense. They're Super Bowl contenders. You know what they can do. You kind of know who the Saints are, except for the fact that they lost their Hall of Fame quarterback, obviously Drew Brees, where Jameis Winston will be starting, and I'm projecting 2 squints from him in the game. He's going to just throw a pass that gets deflected, interception, whatever, and he's going to squint. He had LASIK, but he's still going to squint. He's going to lower the squint percentage by 80% with that LASIK surgery. On top of that, there's going to be no Mikey T for the foreseeable future. What is that, 6 to 8 games? Because I think they did put him on IR. They do have one of the best running backs in the league, most versatile running backs in the league, Alvin Kamara, but he can't do it all. He can catch, he can run, but he also can't throw or play defense. The Saints don't need him on defense because they have a top 5 defense of their own. But I don't think it's enough to get done. Packers are just too strong this year, overcome the Saints, who are kind of questioning themselves at quarterback after this game when they realized, like, was there a reason we started Jameis Winston? Is there a reason we weren't planning to get a different quarterback? Next up, we got Broncos at New York. The question is, can Teddy produce? Can he make a bridge for the Broncos over the bad water? Pun on the name, that's what I do. Whereas the Giants, Danny Dimes is going to have to produce with Kenny G and Sterling Shepard and the rookie wide receiver, Tooney, who's supposed to make a big splash, because at tight end, they have no Evan Ingram today, and Kyle Rudolph will be starting, which isn't a bad possession tight end alone either. So, I mean, they're not hurting too bad. Saquon is back, but I'm positive he's going to be on a limited restriction, but he'll still look good while he's out there, but not enough to overcome. Oh, I lied. I actually have New York winning this game. The question was, can Teddy produce with the Broncos? I jumped all over. I know he should be able to produce. They have what I feel is a stacked wide receiver core: Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and Tim Patrick, and one of the better young tight ends in the league, Noah Fant. The defense is there. They got the names: Von Miller, good pass rush, worst secondary, but not enough to get done. I think New York actually surprises everyone, including myself, but I'm taking New York in this. Very close game. Next up, the game I'm going to be paying attention to most all day. I'm going to have a microscope under this game. Browns at Chiefs. Baker Mayfield coming in to a proving year. One of the best running back duos in the league we know, behind Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I should have mentioned Nick Chubb first. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll do my chants and prayers later. I'm sorry. One of the better wide receiver core in the league. Obviously, we got question marks behind Odell. Some people, not everyone. Landry, Higgins, tight end Hooper. But obviously, as high-powered as I'm mentioning about the Browns, there's just an equal on the opposite side, if not better. And when I say better, I mainly mean one of the best in the league. The best in the league. Jesus, I'm tired. Patrick Mahomes is what I like to call the new great. He's a hybrid quarterback. Like, we don't see anything like him. He's a new great. Comparable wide receivers on the opposite side. You got Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, and the best tight end in the league, Travis Kelce. The big question mark for this team, which I don't think they have secure like the Browns do, is the running game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we like what we've seen so far, but he was kind of in a timeshare. Darrell Williams, I'm sure, will be the replacement for that timeshare from the swapping up they did last year. Andy Reid's a lightweight, a genius when it comes to picking stuff out on a menu at a restaurant. And football, it just happens to be. So, Andy Reid's going to get it done. Last year, Chiefs had 16 interceptions on defense, only 2 touchdowns defensively. We're on the opposite side for the Browns, where I think Browns have the edge defensively. It was very hard for me not to pick the Browns, not even then I'm being biased, as after I looked at it all. I just think we have more talent on the team overall and more better outlook on the future, even though they did just come off of a Super Bowl loss. But defensively, Myles Garrett is no question. The questions are the rookie corner, Newsome. Can he produce? Will he be out there? We obviously got Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams. Greg Newsome's going to be the third and the slot guy. We'll see. We liked what he's seen in college. Can he transfer over to NFL? Another question is Grant Delpit, injured all last year. Can he come back, be the safety we need him to be? And Clowney. Clowney, when healthy, we've seen can do amazing, but can he stay healthy? Like I said, Browns have a slight edge on defense. Kansas City has a slight edge on offense. I'm going Kansas City here. High-scoring game, winning by a field goal or 4 points. Kansas City comes out with it. Next up, we got Bears at Rams for the 8:30 game. Bears, I think you made the wrong choice. It's a big no with the red rifle. You got to go with Justin Fields. He's a dog. He showed what he can do in college. And at the college level, he could have done better what Andy Dalton was doing. Like, come on. You could have bumped Andy Dalton down to the college level, and you wouldn't have been doing as good as what Justin Fields was doing. David Montgomery is the diamond in the rough for that team. We're on the Rams side. The biggest thing I have to ask on the Rams is Matt Stafford. We've seen Matt Stafford do good on teams where he has other help on offense, a.k.a. Megatron. Some running backs in the past, some other wide receivers and tight ends, but they never had a stout defense like the Rams do right now. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, that's enough said. Those are enough to get you by. You know what the Rams are going to get you, and you know they're going to hold up. It's just a matter of if their defense can produce as well and become a complete team and be a top 5 team and come back to being a contender again. Stafford has help on the defense. He can't control that, but can he control the help that he has on offense and produce? Because I think this is some of the best he's had in recent years, Megatron years. At running back, you have Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel. It's going to be a great timeshare, what I think. Sean McVay is going to do a good enough job. You've seen what he did with the wrecking ball when Gurley was out. Wide receivers, you got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, the rookie. Great wide receivers. And then at tight end, you got Tyler Higbee, another young up-and-coming prospect. Not a top 10 tight end, but it'll suffice in the league for what the talent is out there right now. Saying that, I'm going with the Rams, and I'm not going off of it until Bears change their pick of the red rifle. It's not the way to go. The Bengals had to learn the hard way. Countless seasons of just being subpar. You'll learn. Next up, last but not least, we got the Monday night game, 8:30. Ravens at Raiders. Where Ravens, Lamar Jackson, I'm predicting will have over 300 yards and 70 rush yards on top of that, because he does have to be the number 1 running back and number 1 QB for this team after losing their starting 3 running backs to injuries. They'll start Tyson Williams. Who is that? Your guess is as good as mine. And you probably don't know, unless you are a Ravens fan, who he is. But they did also pick up Le'Veon Bell and Latavius Murray, so I think they do have comparable 3 backs right there alone. As much as I hate to say it, being a Browns fan, they also have a strong wide receiver core in Marquise Brown and Sammy Watkins, being held by the always reliable, scrambling, beneficial tight end, Mark Andrews. Where on the Raiders side, I should swap these up. I have these backwards. That's why I got confused earlier. Do a little whoop whoop. Okay. Derek Carr isn't enough. Derek Carr is actually a minivan. He'll get you from A to B, but you don't want your friends to see you riding it. You don't brag about this on social media. You don't take it out for cruise spins. You use it to get what you got to get done, and that's if it will get the job done. but you use it because it's there. Josh Jacobs is good, but not when the Ravens can just stack the box because they're not really scared of the throw competition for Derek Carr. I mean, the Ravens defense has no Marcus Peters, and Jimmy Smith is questionable, and I still think it's going to hold Derek Carr to under 250 yards. So that's saying something. And Carr is not without weapons. He's got Henry Ruggs and Hunter Renfrow and the tight end Darren Waller, who's one of the top tight ends in the league. Feels like for being tight ends, I've said that quite a bit. May have to reevaluate that. Not so many good tight ends in the league. But on top of that, Raiders have a bad rush defense and a subpar pass defense. Ravens are just going to blow them out of the water. On Monday Night Football. What a great game. That's a plus, though, because when Ravens are blowing them out by halftime, I can go to sleep and get ready for work and not feel groggy next morning or guilty that I just stayed up and watched some terrible football for no reason, and now I'm tired all day. I can go to sleep at halftime and be safe and know I don't care about either team, and we know who's going to win. I'm taking the Ravens. Done. Before I go, I am going to give you just a little bit of tidbits. You could get rich by following me. I could get rich by listening to myself. I doubt I will. I've been listening to myself this long, and I'm not rich, so I don't think things are going to change. I do have 2 parlays on the line this week. I have all this money line with those what I call 5 upset. Is they boost the line for you. In the end, boost your predictions, boost your outcome, boost your payout in the end. 5 upsets in the league. Obviously, we got the Jets, the Cardinals, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Dolphins are all the upsets. I think the main upset is the Cardinals, as it is, just because they're topping a top team. But I have all of this parlayed $1. The outcome is $5,400. It's a long shot. It's an insane long shot, but the payout's too good for only $1. And then I have one more parlay. I call it the upset parlay. It literally parlays every upset that I just mentioned in the league, with the winners being Jets, Cardinals, Eagles, Giants, and Dolphins. None of them are crazy stretches, except for the Cardinals over the Titans. If you wanted to argue, I'd only entertain you on that one. The other ones get fucking lost. I know what I'm talking about. I've made a mess. So now I've got to clean. I've got to go. It's that time. But I'm Cody. As always, that's not going to change. Ballers on a budget? Shit, that's not going to change either. Unless for some reason we get going in the future and there's a copyright issue, we have to change a name, legal issues, whatever. We'll come to that, but it's not going to change for now. This was week 1 predictions. Drop a comment, drop a like. Shit, hit that subscribe button if you're feeling generous. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys think for week 1s. If I'm being crazy on my upsets, I know I'm not. Like I said, if you wanted to argue, I'm only open to one of them, Arizona versus Titans. The recaps will come out probably Tuesday or Wednesday, along with the Thursday predictions when we get into the flow of that, get this whole thing rolling. But I'm out. Keep it cool. Enjoy the game. Sit back. Crack some brewskis, sit back with your boys, even if it's not your boys, your girl. And if it's with your girl, if she has an annoying voice, I recommend putting some headphones in. If she's got a decent voice, entertain her a little bit, answer some questions, because she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't even know how many people are on the field at a time. She doesn't even know what shape of the ball that's getting played with. But just have a good time. It's opening week, man. That's what I'm going to do. Sundays for the boys, Sundays for football, Sundays for the Lord. If you're into those types of things, I'm out.